Reds will try to keep Eric Thames in the ballpark. Game 2 of a 4-game set coming up here on Fox Sports Ohio. Check out our Alcanout storylines. And Thames has owned the Reds, and it's continued this season. April 17th, 2-run home run in the 6th. Brewers win by that margin, 2-0. April 18th, 2-run home run in the 3rd. Brewers win that ball game. And then here last night, Reds had a 4-2 lead, erased by one swing of the bat. 3-run home run in the 7th. Brewers win 6-4 this season in 3 games versus the Reds. 3 game-winning home runs, 7 RBIs. The job to keep him in the park tonight is right-hander Sal Romano as he strolls out to the mound to face this first-place Brewers team. And here's the lineup he'll face. Craig Counsell will send him out this way. Brad Miller will lead off. The aforementioned Eric Thames batting second. 3, 4, and 5. Aguilar, Travis Shaw, Ryan Braun. Manny Pena will do the catching tonight. Keon Broxton in center field. Orlando Arce at shortstop. And the 9 batters, the pitcher righty Chase Anderson. For Romano, it's his 17th start of the season. 33rd major league start. And his 2nd start of the season versus the Brewers.
Well, it's a learning year for Sal Romano. I mean, he's a guy that has got plenty of enough stuff to be up here. It's all a matter of command. The one thing you really like about Romano is his ability and his intensity out there to pitch inside. He's not afraid to come right in there to left-handers, and that's the first thing the young pitchers have to learn. But the other thing about Romano that I really still think that he can improve on is learning how to take his foot off the throttle just a little bit. Early on, he comes out almost like a reliever, full bore as hard as he can. And he's getting a little bit better at that, but it's something that's an acquired skill because his whole life he was probably the hardest thrower in the league, and he just went out too hard. Well, it's a little bit more than that up here. His last time out against the Cubs, he ended up giving up a few extra runs in the 5th inning. But other than that, he threw the ball well. And hopefully he'll be able to spot up his fastball tonight.
He rode a 14-inning scoreless streak that ended abruptly. His first pitch is into Brad Miller for ball 1. That 5-run 5th inning ended that scoreless streak, and he had given up only 1 run in his 15 innings pitched in his previous 2 starts. Game time temperature, a cool 92 degrees here at Great American Ballpark. Brad Miller, a .256 batter, 4 home runs and 15 RBIs. 1 for 4 here last night, and getting the assignment in the leadoff spot here tonight. Miller recalled last Saturday from AAA Colorado Springs. Hard hit ball right past the glove of Jose Peraza. The Reds hadn't played correctly, but that ball was blistered, and Peraza couldn't get a glove on it, and it's a base hit.
Miller was somewhat disappointing offensively the last couple of seasons, this one and last for the Tampa Bay Rays, but he has got the ability to hit the ball hard. He's hit as many as 30 home runs in a season, and he puts the bat right on that one.
So here is Thames, the one-man wrecking crew against the Reds. "13 home runs in 20 career games against the Reds. 5 more than versus any other team. Romano had no balls and a strike. And it's 1-1. Those home runs in the first 20 games versus any opponent all time in Major League Baseball. Look at the names on that list. McGuire twice. Hall of Famer Jim Tomei. Swing and a miss. Threw it right by him. 86-mile-per-hour heater. And Thames has 10 career games here at Great American Ballparks. 6 home runs. Most by any opposing player since the start of last season. Romano in the driver's seat here. We'll see what he can do with it. Swing and a miss. Challenged him up in the zone. Down goes Thames.
Nice easy gas tonight for Romano. Keep in mind also that this time of day, it sounds like we're a broken record, but it is really hard to see. The baseball coming out of a pitcher's hand, the ball coming off the bat. If you're playing center field or left field, you are looking right into a very bright sun here this afternoon and this evening.
And speaking of home runs, here's Jesus Aguilar. He's only homered in 3 straight games. Second time he's done that in his career. It was all home runs last night for the Brewers. 5 of their runs via the home run. 3-run home run Thames, 2-run home run Aguilar. 19 of them now overall for Aguilar. Tied for first in the National League. Ripped deep and foul. Last night, 7th inning, bang. It turned a pretty good outing by Anthony DeSclafani. Well, it made it tough to go. It was a 3rd inning home run. The Reds got out to a 2-0 lead and completely made it a new ball game. And then in the 7th, DeSclafani, and he admitted it after the game, that walk to Kratz as he gets Aguilar to chase. The walk to Kratz in the 7th set up Thames later in the inning for a 3-run home run. Here's your 4 defensive lineup for the Reds here tonight. Jesse Winker will be in left field. Hamilton in center, Schebler in right. On the infield, Suarez, Peraza, Jeanette, Votto, and Barnhart. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Romano, and here's Travis Shaw. Seeing all types of defensive shifts in the game nowadays, and this one by the Reds, pretty interesting. Suarez playing where the shortstop normally plays. Peraza nearly behind second base, and Scooter Jeanette a couple of steps on the grass in right.
So they're really giving Travis Shaw the entire left side of the infield. I mean, if he just wants to lay a bunt down anywhere over here, it's going to be a base hit. And Ryan Braun is on deck. There was a time that any Brewer in the lineup would do anything to get Ryan Braun to the plate. But that time has come and gone. He's still a fine player, but not the major superstar run producer that he once was. So that's why Shaw is going to be swinging away right here.
You don't see this type of shift often against lefties. Usually 3 of them over there on the right side if you're going to shift.
I mean, I really still don't get it. I mean, why, if they are giving you a free base, why won't you take it?
Yeah.
I know that there are a lot of analytics people out there probably throwing stuff at the TV. But I mean, that's the whole idea for me is to you know, keep the line moving, get on base, whatever you want, however you want to phrase it. I mean, you get a runner in scoring position, it's a lot easier to score him than it is from first base.
Well, one tapped 20 feet, goes down as a hit, just like one ripped into the gap to the wall. They both go down as a hit. The 2-1.
I mean, just consider this for a moment. What are the odds of Travis Shaw hitting a home run? Now, against Sal Romano, I don't know exactly, but I can tell you that he averages this year a home run about once every 19 at-bats. 18.57. So, are you feeling lucky? I can't remember how many sliders I have left.
Barnhart will go through the signs again. Counts 2-2 to Shaw. First base 2 outs, and Romano steps off again as Shaw steps out. Two-two offering. Rip. Votto gloves it. Nice play. Let's get out of the first. Single, man left. Reds coming up. Well, Friday night Central Division rivalry baseball here on Fox Sports Ohio. And here's how Jim Riggleman will line them up tonight. There's Scott Shebler. He'll lead them off. Tucker Barnhart batting second. Votto, Jeanette, Suarez in the middle. Jesse Winker in left field. Jose Peraza goes from leadoff last night down to the 7th spot tonight. Pitcher spot is 8th, and Billy Hamilton will bat 9th. 30-year-old Chase Anderson, who right now is writing his father's initials into the dirt, which he does each and every game. 16th start of the season, second against the Reds.
3rd season here as a Milwaukee Brewer. He's been a starter each and every year. He's 7 games over 500 in his major league career. Earned run average right around 3.9.
Shebler, first pitch swinging and out of play.
And if you want to watch a guy that has really tried to perfect the art of pitching, Chase Anderson's a guy. I mean, he's adapted his repertoire a little bit. He's not overpowering. He's got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And boy, he has put together some really fine years in the major leagues, especially last year when he was 12-4.
In addition to that 12-4 record, a very nice 2.74 ERA in 25 starts. Shebler overall with a .282 batting average, 10 home runs, 30 RBIs, but in the leadoff spot, .333 hitter. 11 RBIs in 15 games. And the base percentage sitting at .354. Swing and a miss.
So with 2 strikes, the Brewers do what they do, which is send the third baseman way over there near second base. This is where Travis Shaw ended up, and the shortstop back in his normal position. Now that they figure the Shebler won't bunt.
Swing and a miss. Challenged him up and in, and Anderson wins this battle.
All about fastball command for Chase Anderson, and he set that fastball up with a changeup the pitch before. You know, 94, that's about major league average right there, but it's all about where he put it. Knowing Shebler likes to pitch up, kind of teased him, got him a little bit higher than he's comfortable with.
Here's Tucker Barnhart riding a 5-game hitting streak. Tucker, a .263 batter, 5 home runs, 25 RBIs, 344 on base percentage. We talked about Anderson in 2017, those 12 wins, career high in strikeouts with 133. And right now, you got to think the ball is tough to see.
Well, it's got to be. We've seen some really bad swings already, and Barnhart, not only does he have to try to see it as a hitter, he's got to do it as a catcher. So what he did to Schebler was follow that changeup up with a high inside fastball. See if they'll do it again. Now they're going to go with the curveball.
Tucker fights it off, and this one bends out of play.
It's funny, isn't it, though, Jim? You know, of all the changes that have gone on in baseball over the years and the generations, basically it is still one finger for a fastball, 2 fingers for a curve, and a little wiggle for a changeup.
One of the beauties I think about baseball as well is obviously well over 100 years in which the game was created. There's a check swing, and he went around, says the home plate umpire Bruce Dreckman.
You know, that's the kind of play I think that all a hitter wants is a little bit of a second opinion. You know, and the home plate umpire makes the call because when he turns his torso, you know, the bat actually clears the front of the plate, and it gives the impression that the batter actually went. But, you know, even if you get rung up, I think the hitter wants somebody else to chime in on it.
Swing and a miss by Votto. He's talking about one of those beauties of baseball. It was created a long, long time ago. And the athletes are bigger, stronger, faster nowadays. But still the game, going down the first base line, if it's a ground ball that's well hit, it's still a bang-bang play. You know, no matter the bigger athletes and the same speed, that's one of the beauties of the game. That
I think what you're talking about, really the dimensions of the field.
Yeah. I mean, when they came up with it.
60 feet, 6 inches, 90 feet between bases.
I can't imagine when they created the game that they would know this many years later, those dimensions have remained perfect. Arcia. It's a little stylish catch. 3 up, 3 down for the Reds. Scoreless at GABP. Ballot is now open and exclusively online. Make sure your favorite Reds are represented on this year's squad by voting at Reds.com. Catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard, July 17th, live on Fox. With Chris Welsh, Jim Day, back at Great American Ballpark. We will be joined later on by Jeff McCorrell, Shannon Ford. Glad you could join us here on this Friday night. Ryan Braun, Manny Pena, Keon Broxton here in the second against Sal Romano. Reds were able to hold Braun in check last night, 0 for 4 in the game. No Christian Yelich in the lineup tonight as Braun shows bunt, and hey, we were talking about last inning. Take what they're giving you.
Well, here's a guy with an on-base percentage in his career of .362. Now, it's nowhere near Joey Votto, but it's pretty darn good. So, again, he's looking at the background that the hitters have to hit off of right now. You really can't pick up the spin of a breaking ball. So why not take what you're given? He still runs well.
Yeah. And for a guy that throughout his career will drive it in the gap and drive it out of the ballpark, even though it's the opposing team here, refreshing to see a guy lay down a bunt like that. Suarez playing back. Easy base hit if you can get it down, and he did it masterfully there. No Christian Yelich in the starting lineup. He left last night's game after his first at bat, lower back tightness. Lorenzo Cain on the disabled list. So a somewhat depleted Brewers lineup that the Reds are facing. And those were their two big offseason acquisitions for Craig Counsell.
Counsell does a really great job of using his entire roster. He rests guys, he gets extra guys, extra bats. He's really been very good about that. And I'm wondering if some of that comes from him being somewhat of a utility player himself. I mean, there were years where he was an everyday player, but for the most part, you think about Craig Counsell as a player, you think about, oh, he's a guy who can play a lot of different positions, he can fill in, and he probably appreciates how much you need to play just to stay a little bit sharp.
Done a terrific job in Milwaukee. Base hit. And Braun is not going to test the arm of Hamilton, but first two have reached here in the second against Romano. And that'll bring up Keon Broxton. Brewers 47-33 entering play tonight. 2.5 games clear of the Cubs in the National League Central. And they have now spent 49 days in first place. And they're clear of the Cardinals by 4.5 games. Broxton shows bunt and bunts it out of play. Broxton was just recalled from AAA on Tuesday when Lorenzo Cain went on the disabled list. He came into last night's ball game. He's the one that replaced Yelich after Yelich grounded out in the first and left with back tightness.
I'm really surprised that Broxton even tried to bunt on that very first pitch right there. I doubt that it came from the bench. Maybe it did look like more like an attempt to have a base hit bunt. But I mean, you're getting down here to the bottom of the order. You have Orlando Arcia next and then the pitcher. Good time for a strikeout. Went back-to-back sliders and he didn't bite.
It is a hot, humid night here.
This is where when you throw that slider right there, you can afford to catch the plate with it, but throw it in the dirt. You get a lot more swings on pitches that look like when they come out of your hand just for a moment, it could be a strike.
Another line drive base hit into left center field. They're going to wave around Braun. The throw comes into third, and the Brewers have a 1-0 lead.
Boy, oh boy, got such a terrible swing on the slider. wasted one on the outside, and then tried to sneak a fastball by him. And pretty much throws it right in the hitting zone. He probably wanted to come up with that pitch, but up is not belt high.
So single, single, single here in the second. Still nobody out in first and second. And Romano, the big inning has been his bugaboo. We talked about the 5th inning in his last start. 14 straight scoreless innings, and then all of a sudden the Cubs put a 5 spot on him in the 5th. The Reds offense bailed Romano out on that day, but most of the time it doesn't happen. 6 of his last 8 starts.
You know, for so many young pitchers, this is very common. Damage control is something hard. It's a concept that's difficult to get around, because when he's pitching in the minor leagues, you don't have too many games where you're giving up 3 or 4 runs in an inning.
We talked last night about those around the Brewers say that if the bottom half of their order gets on base, they usually win those games because they haven't gotten much production from the latter part of their lineup. Last night, Orlando Arcia was 2 for 3.
This guy's bailing whale right here.
Yep. But one of those hits was a big one in the 7th. We talked earlier about Anthony DeSclafani walking Eric Kratz on 4 pitches, and then Arcia blistered one to center field, and it set up Eric Thames' 3-run home run. And Arcia, a very pedestrian 203 average, even after a 2 for 3 night. 1-2.
Well, he's a young kid, Arcia is. You know, he's only 23 years old. He's a brilliant defender. Very smooth, great arm, does all the things you want out of a shortstop. But last year he hit 15 home runs, which is probably the worst thing that could have happened for him. Because now, every time he goes to the plate, he's looking to go yard.
He is bailing well. He has grounded into 9 double plays, and Romano would love one right here. Brewers have actually grounded into the most double plays in the National League with 71. First out of the inning.
You know, here's the situation. I know it's kind of a crazy idea, but Arcia is out when he swings and misses, and less than 2 outs and first base is occupied. But there's no rule against him running down the line frantically to first base, and maybe just for 1 second fooling the defense into maybe making a bad throw, and it's perfectly legal, and that could happen. So if you're coaching a Little League team at home, maybe you can think about that.
Anderson gets it down, and it's a beauty. Sacrifice goes 1-3. Both runners move up, 2nd and 3rd, and 2 outs, and back to the top of the order, Brad Miller. Yeah, kind of muscle memory. Not only muscle memory, but mental memory. If you see that guy busting it down the line, you never know. Your instincts are like, I better bust it down there.
Now, it would really fall on the responsibility of Tucker Barnhart, and I doubt that you could fool him into that. But there might be a catcher out there that you could trick.
I bet you could probably name some from your past.
I wouldn't do that.
At least
well,
not
maybe I
here.
would.
Yeah,
maybe I
would. I was going to say, you've thrown some guys under the bus. And in fact, that famous line you'd always give to me. Bus is leaving in 20 minutes. Be under it.
You don't listen like you used to.
Big at bat right here in the game, even though we're early on in this one for Sal Romano.
Well, he's got a good looking slider tonight, Romano does, right over the top. And he's really pretty much on that first base corner. The scouts will call it glove side.
Bottom dropped out. Beauty. Manny Pena was getting a giant lead at third base, and Romano looked over. And he's getting another big one. Suarez playing well off the bag at third. Oh, 2. Barnhart saves a run. He's been busy so far. Textbook. Foul ball.
You know, Miller's another hitter where I think that he had success hitting the long ball. In 2016, he hit 30 of them. And boy, did he ever come back to earth last year. He had an average of 201. His strikeout rate skyrocketed to nearly 30%, presumably from trying to duplicate what he did in 2016.
One-two pitch. Again in the dirt.
And I can tell you what that stance right there, he's telling me, and I haven't looked up the analytics and to tell you what his scouting report would be, but if you're just scouting by batting style and body type, you can get him out by pitching him right under his elbows. Look how high he holds the bat. I mean, he wants to drop that bat head down here somewhere.
From 0-2 to 3-2.
Well, this is the guy you want because you know who's on deck, Mr. Reds Killer.
Yeah, you got first base open, but that dude standing on deck. That dude, not dat dude. Ground ball. Votto, long toss, and Romano gets to the bag. Maybe should have gone overhand there, but let's get out of the inning. They give up one. How about a little dessert on a Friday night? Little Reds baseball. Brewers, Braun in left, Broxton in center tonight, Eric Thames in right, Shaw, Arcia, Miller, Aguilar, Manny Pena hanging the signs tonight for Chase Anderson. It was a 3-up, 3-down first inning for Chase Anderson as the sun still splashing the batter's eye in center field. But most of the playing surface now in shade, but that batter's eye will still be tough on the hitters. Although the Brewers had no problem in the second with 3 straight singles, but Romano got out of trouble, giving up only one. For the game today, Scooter Gennett got his Player of the Month award. For the month of May, oh, nope, it's not a Frisbee scooter. As here's a lazy pop-up. Can anyone get there? No. No play. And for Gennett, that Player of the Month award in May. It's the first Reds player to be named Player of the Month since Jay Bruce back in May of 2011. Continues to lead the National League in hitting at .331. And it's been a long time since the Red has won the batting title. You got to go way back to 1973. Peter Edward Rose. And he hit .338. Aguilar will wait on it, take it himself, 1 out. And here's Eugenio Suarez, who will step in with a .304 batting average. 16 home runs, 59 RBIs, those 59 ribeyes. First in the National League still. He's just 2 for 13 in his career off of Chase Anderson, but does have a home run to his credit. Anderson ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. They're trying to stop the Brewers' dominance over them in 2018. Brewers 6-1 against Cincinnati so far this year. Boy, did he pull the string on that. Suarez just flailed at it. Third punch out and 5 batters for Chase Anderson. Brewers 47-3 overall against the Central. They've owned the Reds, but the rest of the division. 2-3 against the Pirates, 3-8 versus the Cubs in that big-time rivalry between the two. They come in 18-18 against the Central Division. Now you go out west against the West. They're 11-2. So it's always interesting to break down team versus divisions. They've been pretty consistent home and road. 24-17 record at home, 23-16 on the road.
Well, as I mentioned last night, Jim, the thing that sticks out by the Brewers is the fact that they've simply dominated those teams that are in last place in each of the divisions in the National League.
Yep. Check swing, and he held up. Count is full to Jesse Winker. Talked about Winker in the open. In June, .334 hitter.
Oh my!
Strike 3 called.
Pretty good pitch.
Says Bruce Dreckman, right at the knees. 6 up, 6 down for Chase Anderson.
Shannon Ford, with temperatures getting up to the mid-90s this weekend, the Reds have set up misting stations all over the ballpark, so be sure to check them out to stay cool and maybe grab a hot dog while you're at it. Guys, back up to you.
Heck yeah. I'll take 2 hot dogs, please. Shannon, you can deliver those to the booth. Chris wants 1. No, probably not. Reds do a nice job of staying cool. Uh-oh, Thames, man, every time he swings the bat, you think it's going out of the ballpark. He pops it up. And he has been retired his first 2 times up here tonight. Putout goes to 6. Reds do a nice job of staying cool, as if you're coming out to the games and it's supposed to be hot all weekend, fans are permitted to bring non-alcoholic plastic bottles of water and sports drinks into the ballpark. A lot of people don't know that. You can bring soft-sided coolers as well, smaller than 16 by 16. And the Reds have cool rooms throughout the ballpark where they have TVs so fans can watch the game, and you just have to find a Red staff member or an usher, and they'll take you down to a cool room. And a lot of our elderly fans will take advantage of that maybe mid-game. They have the misters throughout, as Shannon showed us. And those are about 4 or 5 locations throughout the ballpark. Again, ask the ushers. And you can always check out the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum. It's air conditioned and a good way to escape the heat. So just be smart. Stay hydrated, all that stuff. Aguilar. Shebler, that'll fall in front of him. He does a nice job of keeping him in front of him. And Aguilar squares one up. It's a different sound.
I mean, there's beginning to be some discussions about Aguilar being, in the MVP race. I mean, it's really amazing what he has done. He did not hit his first home run until April the 21st. And when he hit that home run, it was as a pinch hitter, and it was a walk-off job to win the ball game for the Brewers. So he wasn't even playing. He was getting sporadic playing time. He was coming off the bench as a pinch hitter. But boy, once they started playing him on a regular basis.
10 home runs here in the month of June alone. What a month it's been. 24 RBIs, first in the league.
Yeah, 1 home run in April, 8 in May, and 10 in June. I would say he's trending up.
Thus, him batting 3rd. Braun now batting 5th in this lineup. That's how good Aguilar has been. One pitch to Shaw. 2-1.
If you're going to contend in a relatively smaller market, now Milwaukee's bigger than the Reds market, but you have to make some deals, and they have to turn out like Eugenio Suarez, and they have to turn out like Jesus Aguilar. I mean, they got him off the waiver wire last February of 2017. We saw him a lot in spring training when he was with the Indians down at Goodyear. I don't think anybody ever saw coming what he's been able to do, and I don't think anybody ever saw coming, what Suarez has done. I mean, they thought he was going to be a good player, but I don't think that anyone said, hey, Aguilar's a little different because he came over here at age 27, much older than Suarez.
Three
the point
straight
being
pitches.
is you need a little luck.
Yeah. Yep. No question about that. And we've talked about that often with, the Houston Astros have done a great job. But you got to have some luck along the way as well. Some of those players that they came up with.
Well, the Astros, when they had their losing years, when they were losing over 100 games a year, they were locks to get the #1 pick in the draft. And when you have the #1 pick, it is awfully tough to, to not pick a good one.
3 straight pitches way out of the zone for Romano. Dr. Death, Danny Darwin.
And I think this conversation has to do with just backing off the throttle a little bit. I mean, it's so natural for a guy who's been a power pitcher his whole life, the biggest guy in the county, the hardest thrower in the league, you know, when he gets in trouble to rear back and try to throw harder. But at this level, the smart thing to do is to take a little bit off. Hit your corner. Give the hitter an opportunity to get himself out. Now he's got nowhere to put Braun.
The Reds have, you talk to those around the pitching circles of the Reds, and Romano's a guy that when his heartbeat gets up, he tends to overthrow like you talked about.
I mean, it's so natural. I
Yeah.
mean, and not only in baseball, in every sport.
First and second, one out. Ryan Braun at the plate last time up. Ryan Braun laid down a beautiful bunt single. It was only the second bunt hit in the last 4 years for Ryan Braun. But he looked like he does it all the time. Romano could be two. Jeanette, Braun can run, and he beats it out. They cut down Shaw at second base, and it'll be first and third, 2 outs.
Good play by Romano. He had a plan ahead of time, knew exactly what he was going to do, fielded it, made sure he threw a good peg to second base, and Braun just outruns the play.
Two-out batter is Manny Pena, and second straight inning, a very large at-bat in this one for Romano. Pena was part of that 3 straight single brigade last inning. Falls behind 2 balls and no strikes. Manny Pena turned 31 on the 5th of this month. A Venezuela native.
He's from Barquisimeto, Venezuela.
You know, I was looking at that one and I wasn't even going to try to pronounce it.
Yeah,
that was a nice job.
It's over in the oil producing part of the country down there. Yeah.
Very nice.
It can be very, very hot there in the winter months.
Yeah, I always, when it's a real hot day like this weekend, I'll talk to Peraza or Suarez, who are from Venezuela, and I'll say, it's not hot out here, is it? It's not Venezuela hot, is it? They're like, oh, no, no, no. No, no, no. This is nothing.
Oh, what I remember really most about Barquisimeto is that every cab driver in town seemed to have a 6-shooter under the seat of his car. And
why? Because picking up passengers like you
that may not pay. Not like me. No, I learned to pay immediately.
So when were you in Venezuela?
I played winter ball down there years and years ago. Yeah.
Nice.
Great place. Really, I'd love that winter down there. And that was like the wild, wild west over there in Barquisimeto.
Especially when Chris Welsh rolls into town. Back in the day. Runner will be going from first, and it's in the air. Will there be room for Votto? Big out by Romano. He strands 2. How about a baseball from Joey Votto? 1-0 Brewers. during tonight's game. Janina Mahaffey from Cincinnati will get the brand new Tundra on display here at Great American Ballpark, thanks to your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. 6 up, 6 down so far for Chase Anderson. He will get Peraza, Romano, Hamilton here in the third. Reds trailing by a run. And we talked about one of the guys from Venezuela, Jose Peraza. You've heard Eugenio Suarez do a lot of interviews in English, which to me takes a ton of courage. And he has really been on Peraza over the last couple of years to learn English. And Chris, I don't know if you've had conversations with him of late, but he's doing really well.
Yeah, he is.
He's really progressing with his English. When you do interviews with him, he'll still use an interpreter for the answers, but he knows exactly what you're saying. When you're off camera, you can have a conversation in English with him now. And
I think all that has really helped his confidence.
Yeah. And the way he said he did it, and he said Andrelton Simmons told him this, and this is nothing new. A lot of people have done this. He watches TV shows and movies, and they'll lock in, like Simmons would lock in on one TV series, so that he would know what characters would say over and over and over again. And Peraza's done the same thing. He says he watches a ton of movies in English, and it's really helped him. Thames gloves it for out number 1.
A lot easier chance for Thames right there off the bat of Peraza tonight than he had last night. He had a ball go over his head the first inning last night that went for a double by Tucker Barnhart.
Yeah, that ball ate him alive, in fact.
In an ideal world, they like to have Thames play left field where they think it's an easier position to play and then move Braun to right, but I think Braun's about done moving around.
Yeah, he talked to those around the Brewers, and left field is where he wants to be. He's played a little bit of first base this year, very little, but now with Aguilar down there, you can lock him in there. Romano right at the second baseman Miller. 2 outs. Want to win tickets to see the Zach Brown Band at Great American Ballpark later this summer? Well, we've got 40 pairs, does Fox Sports Ohio, and we're ready to give them away for the upcoming concert. Tweet using hashtag Zach Brown GABP. That's hashtag Zach Brown GABP, and that's Zach ZAC. You'll have your chance to win tickets to this amazing show coming up on August 4th here at Great American Ballpark. First pitch strike, and a liberal one at that against Hamilton. If you were scoring last night's game, which I hope you were, well, we'll talk about that a little bit later. It involves a play with Billy Hamilton, but he grounds out to Aguilar, and perfect through 3. 9-pitch inning for Chase Anderson. The fourth series, you got a $12 ticket package. You get a voucher for a free regular hot dog and a 16-ounce fountain drink at the game. Plus, catch those fireworks shows, the best in the business, after the games on both July 3rd and 4th. It's the Great American Deal, and you can purchase it today at reds.com/deal. And keep in mind, this great deal is only available through this ticket package. One in the shade now. Long drive, left center field. Keon Broxton goes yard. First home run of the season for Keon Broxton. And it's 2-0 Brewers.
Well, you can never be lulled to sleep in this ballpark and just kind of fire in a first pitch fastball just because you want a first pitch strike. At least not up there.
No, and right down the middle.
You know, Romano is a guy that has a good, heavy sinking fastball. The reason he's in this rotation is because when he pitches well, that ball's down around the knees, and that's where he's got to live.
So Broxton taking the place of Christian Yelich in the lineup, and like you said earlier, Craig Counsell's been able to get everything out of this entire 25-man roster. And it just seems like different guys continue to step up. Oh, check this out. You know, there's no other place I'd rather be than sitting at the ballpark, particularly in this seat, but that might be second on the list. I used to own some jet skis when I lived in Florida. Man, did I love my jet skis. Chase Anderson, chopper. Scooter makes the play, 2 outs. Now, I didn't have the big boy money for that one. And it was a little different in the Gulf of Mexico as opposed to where I had my jet skis, as opposed to the Ohio River. But when you're on a jet ski, it's actually calmer waters in a river or a lake. Some days in the Gulf, it was hold on for dear life. Brad Miller 1 for 2 here tonight. Second straight night game here. It'll be a late afternoon game tomorrow and a matinee on Sunday as Romano, after giving up the home run to Broxton, retires the next 3. 2-0 Milwaukee.
Time for T-Mobile's Hats Off to Heroes. Tonight's hero is Christian Yelich. His brother Cameron was a U.S. Marine. He established Sluggers for Soldiers to bring military and family members to a meet and greet at batting practice. He's a 2017 Bob Feller Act of Valor nominee. His first season with the Brewers at 289, 11 homers, 34 RBI so far, and not in the lineup again tonight after suffering that back tightness after his first at-bat in yesterday's game. Gentlemen?
Well, we salute all those that give back and honor the men and women in uniform. Whether they be serving now, have served, or will serve. Reds need to get going here against Chase Anderson. He has retired the first 9 men he has faced.
You know, as we normally do, you prepare for the game. You're looking up different stats, trying to find trends and so on different players and pitchers. And the one thing that really jumped out to me about Chase Anderson is his BABIP.
Oh, I love BABIP.
And people at home think, all right, well, what is that? And basically, it means batting average on ball in play. So when an opponent puts a ball in play, the Major League batting average is somewhere between 290 and 300, right around that area. But when you have a low BABIP like he does, you're wondering, well, how does that happen? Are they hitting a lot of balls right at him? Is the defense really in the right spot? Or are they getting a lot of soft contact? Well, he strikes out a lot of batters, number one. He's got 4 on the night. I don't know whether that is sustainable to actually finish the year with a 219 BABIP, which is probably not. So you're thinking he's due for a regression at some point, but he has been extremely impressive tonight. Control of a fastball at about 93 miles an hour. He's got a changeup at 84, like right there. That has a nice run to it, arm side run. And he's got a curveball that he throws at 77 miles an hour. And I think that's a very interesting pitch because it really helps to get the hitters off his fastball.
Oh, he fooled Schebler badly right there. Second time he's punched Schebler out. Anderson coming off of a start against the Cardinals. You mentioned strikeouts. Season high 9 of them against the Cardinals. Roller coaster ride when you're a big league pitcher. Sandwiched in is at 5 1/3 outing, 6 earned runs against the Phillies.
Not exactly an innings eater over his last 3, although the 7-inning stint against the Cubs very good. You've got to keep in mind that the Brewers have an outstanding bullpen.
Yeah. And
Craig Counsell will go to that early and often.
Yeah, when you're running the likes of Knebel out there, which we saw last night, Josh Hader. Nice piece of hitting by Barnhart. First hit of the game for the Reds.
Here's the curveball I was talking about, and Tucker just stays right behind that baby, and almost he tries to guide it right down the baseline.
Sure did. They were playing off the line. A little inside out swing, and the Reds, after Anderson retires the first 10, have a 1-out base runner for Joey Votto. So far, no heated discussions in this game for Votto. 2 days ago, he got tossed out of the game arguing balls and strikes. Last night, a little, well, let's just say a discussion with Eric Kratz. On Wednesday, balls and strikes, they'll let you go a little bit. Carlos Torres says, hey, all right, you said your piece. All right, you said enough. See you later. Last night at the Dish, and Roberto Ortiz didn't like the call, and Eric Kratz said, hey, get back in the box. Votto got right in his face. The benches emptied. It was nothing but a basic discussion. No brouhaha. It was interesting what Kratz said after the game. Votto said it was not a big deal. Kratz, you got to have a sense of humor, right? Completely blown out of proportion, that's all. We were discussing the Canadian dollar and flawed systems in our two governments. He was coming from a different side of it, and we were just discussing those kinds of things. Sure you were. Funny nonetheless. Twin killing. And the one-out base runner is erased. 2-0 Brewers.
In action tomorrow as the Reds and Brewers continue their series. Coverage begins at 3:30 with Reds Live right here on Fox Sports Ohio and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Swing into Summer is presented by Click It or Ticket. Right, as you heard us talk about, it is hot and humid out here, and Sal Romano, the pitcher, is one of the big sweaters on the team. Now, each player has 3 game white jerseys. Romano is already on to jersey number 2. He usually goes about 2 to 3 innings before he switches. And look at this one, just sopping wet as he comes in. Takes it off down here in the tunnel, throws another one on. The other guy that sweats quite a bit, obviously, Tucker Barnhart behind the plate. But as Jim likes to say, gamer, has not changed as of yet. Still in the original jersey. You might want to know who's the other guy that sweats on the pitching staff. Well, it used to be Homer Bailey. He would go through 2 jerseys every start. So Sal on jersey number 2. We'll keep the update on that.
Thames, you can't keep Thames down for long. They retired him the first 2 times up, and base hit to lead off the 5th. I talked to Barnhart before the game about hot nights, hot days like we're going to have tomorrow and Sunday. He estimates he loses about 3 to 5 pounds during the game on hot days like that. And luckily they have a big league equipment staff because they air out that equipment for him each and every game. Because if you don't, you end up smelling like a hockey goalie. And any of you parents out there that have youth hockey players, you know what I'm talking about. You ever been in a youth hockey locker room? It's a little rough. Let's just say it's a little rough. Little rough. Oh-1 to Aguilar, and he just gets under this one. Winker will come in to get it, and out. Even a lazy fly ball off the bat of Aguilar, when it comes off the bat, you kind of got to wait.
You know, and that could really be when it fools an outfielder like that, because a big guy swings the bat, and the first thing you do is freeze, or you go back a step, and sometimes that ball will just fall in front of you because you're reacting to his size and his reputation more than you are the ball coming off the bat.
First pitch to Travis Shaw's fouled straight back, and Shaw got a good look at that one. 0 for 1 here, walked in the third. He was 0 for 4 here last night. Proud papa is Jeff Shaw, the former Red. Son has entrenched himself third base for his first place Brewers club. There goes the runner. Throw down from Tucker. Not in time.
A little bit of a sneak attack right there, and not a whole lot that Tucker Barnhart could do about it, because Romano kind of forgot about him, not really thinking that he would be stealing, and got a big jump.
Well, this Brewers club will run. For Thames, that is 5 steals and 5 attempts, and this Brewers team came in second in the National League in stolen bases with 60, trailing only Washington, who has 63.
What great camera work right there. You know what that really shows? And I'd love to see that slow motion again. It shows you how hard that these runners get in there and they slide into second base. They're not sliding so that the very end of their slide, when they stop, they're at the bag. I mean, he hit that bag with his foot and his ankle and rolled over right over the top of it. What a great shot. Look at this again. I mean, look at his left foot go over that bag. I mean,
I love nowadays we got the HD shot. You can see the dirt flying up in the air. It is a beautiful shot, boys. This Brewers team will be aggressive on the base pass. To give you an example, that's stolen base number 61 for the Brewers this season, second in the National League. As I said, the Reds have 39 as a team, and most of them coming from 2 guys, Hamilton, Peraza. And last year, the Brewers, and you don't see this often, they led the National League in not only stolen bases, but home runs. They also did it in 2012. They're the only National League team to lead in both categories in a season since 1996. It's been that long. And right now they are third in the National League in home runs, 103 of them now after Keon Broxton's solo shot, second only to the Dodgers in long balls. So they'll beat you a number of ways. They'll go yard. They'll be aggressive on the base pass. They've got a good bullpen. They've got an outstanding manager. Can they hold up defensively, I guess, might be the only question mark.
I would think that would be a very big question mark. The other would be, do they have enough as far as starting pitching?
Oh, you can expect them to probably, or at least try to be active at the end of the month, wouldn't you think so?
I would think so. Yeah, I'm not sure who they were yelling at. They've always been a team in their history recently anyway, especially when Doug Melvin was their general manager, that if they were close enough, they were going for it. And they were not afraid to pull a big deal. That's more of a situational walk right there. I don't mind that one at all to Travis Shaw by Romano. He's walked him twice now. But, Sal, I don't know whether he's intentionally trying to pitch up in the zone more tonight. But here's the shot for get a double play ball. If you can get that ball down and get Ryan Braun to roll over on one.
You can see him taking a deep breath. Again, we talked about it earlier. He gets that heartbeat going and tends to overthrow at times. And this is one of those situations where you might want him to back off.
I mean, if you compare the velocity and the differences in the highest and slowest speeds for Sal Romano to what Chase Anderson is doing tonight. And Anderson's having an exceptional night because he got 3 different pitches working. Romano probably doesn't feel like that. But a little ground ball gets you out of the inning with no problem.
Long run for Hamilton, and just another day at the office for Billy. Sliding catch. There are a lot of center fielders that don't get to that ball.
Now, there are a lot of base runners that if there were a different outfielder out there, they probably would have been reading that as a base hit and would have gone on to third base of your Thames or on to second base of your Travis Shaw.
Billy laughing at his throw attempt, I should say. And he'll laugh at himself now. Two outs and Manny Pena. Pena 1 for 2 here tonight. Single back in the second. That hit him.
Boy, what a bad break.
And barely.
I was about to say what a great pitch. That's one of those calls the umpire makes by hearing it.
Sal wants clarification, but yeah, I think you're right. You go on sound there. This is a good trip to the mound here by Danny Darwin, in my humble opinion. Romano, and he'll probably admit after the game, has not had his best stuff. Certainly not his best location, but he gets an out here. It would be 5 innings, and he's kept his team in the game.
You know, he's really battled tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, he's given up a number of hits. Every time you turn around, he's in the stretch position. Now, this is the kind of night that really separates you right here, and he's hanging right in there. And all you are is one good pitch from getting out of this inning, and that's probably the message that Danny Darwin's delivering right now. Could be something about his mechanics, but I just don't remember Romano pitching up in the zone so much with his fastball. His slider's been really good.
Keon Broxton took him deep last time up.
Yeah. To get ahead fastball, and it was up.
And that pitch was up and right down the heart of the plate. And Broxton does what big league hitters do. When you put it in that part of the strike zone. They get bad here. Romano's fallen behind, 2 balls and no strikes.
You got to have confidence in every one of your pitches right here, but the one that you need to throw for a strike is the one you throw here. Broxton's looking fastball. And you can give him one, just give it to him in a good spot.
– 3-0. Nowhere to put Keon Broxton. Michael Lorenzen warming up in the Reds pen. Romano needs a strike and gets it, and a liberal one at that.
A 3-0 Leo.
Come right back with the fastball here, don't you? Setting up on the inside part of the plate. Nope, now I'll go back outside, and here's the ground ball.
Good job.
Sal Romano strands 3. Again, he's battled and kept his team in the game. He needs some offense. Sports Ohio is brought to you by Cincinnati Children's, now ranked number 2 in the nation by U.S. News and World Report, and by your local Ford dealer. Ford, go further. Cool zone. Nister's going here at Great American Ballpark. Bottom of the 5th. Only a 2-run game here. 2-0 Brewers. And the heart of the order for the Reds coming up. 4, 5, and 6. Jeanette, Suarez, and Winker to face Chase Anderson, who has given up all of 1 hit. Time called.
Well, you know you're going good as a pitcher when you start throwing first pitch changeups. That's what Anderson just fed to Scooter Gennett.
The Reds have won 3 straight series. 4-gamers are the hardest to win. And they would have to win tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. They want to make it 4 straight series. A very winnable game still here tonight. Winners of 9 of their last 11, 12 of 16. Jim Riggleman's squad. Floater. Arcia runs it down and makes a sliding basket catch. Big league play.
You see why he's in the lineup right there. You know, he's just such a good defender. They've got enough offense to not worry about it. He's batting in the number 8 spot.
That is great recognition, making the basket catch and then sliding to avoid running into the wall. First pitch to Suarez. A check swing, appeal. No, says Chad Fairchild. Ninth career start versus the Reds. 5 of them allowing 0 or 1 earned run. A mile-high ball into the air in left center field. 2 outs. Well, you want to talk about efficient. Anderson sitting at 52 pitches, 2 outs into the 5th.
I mean, it just goes to show you what you can do when you throw a lot of strikes and you're able to change speeds. The Reds really haven't had all that many hard hit balls at all. In fact, I'm looking for one.
Look at the balls to strikes ratio. First pitch swinging, Winker, lazy fly ball. Another 1-2-3 inning for Chase Anderson. 7-pitch inning.
Nothing over the Reds, and each game there are 10 dozen of these pearls that are rubbed up and ready for play. It's 120 baseballs, and that brings us to our Geico history feature for tonight. On this date in Reds history, June 29th of 1916, the Reds and Cubs played a 9-inning game with just 1 baseball. There were no foul balls or home runs that went in the stands. The final score was 9-6. 1 ball. They use 120 balls a game now. How about that, gentlemen?
The amazing stat to me is no ball went in the stands. 1 baseball. 1 baseball. 1 pitch, 1 out for the new pitcher for the Reds, righty Michael Lorenzen.
Lorenzen does something in 1 pitch that it took 5 innings for Sal Romano to do, which was retire the first batter of the inning. He only did that 1 time, Romano, tonight. Boy, he had a battle each and every inning he was out there. Gave up singles in the 1st and 2nd. Finally got the first hitter Thames out in the 3rd. Then a leadoff home run in the 4th. A leadoff base hit in the 5th. But what a battler tonight.
First pitch swinging again. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Part of Super Saturdays this season. Cheer on the Reds and the Brewers here tomorrow. You can save with the 4 for $48 ticket deal. First 20,000 fans are going to get the Rosy Red bobblehead, presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare. For tickets, visit Reds.com. Top of the order, Brad Miller. Lorenzen going with a high Sox look tonight. Dig it. So overall for Romano, 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs they were earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and a home run. 3 balls and a strike to Brad Miller. Full count. 96-mile-per-hour hater painted right on the outside corner. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Coming up, Dumb and Dumber. I'm not talking about Jim Day and Chris Welsh. A reenactment. Cincinnati's Brent Suter. Wait for this.
But I'm gonna go with my instincts on this one. Settle up, partner. Cannot triple stamp it. No erases, touch blue, make it.
You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't triple stamp a double stamp, Suter. You can't triple stamp a double stamp, Suter. Suter.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
That was Brewers pitcher Brent Suter, a graduate of Moeller High School right here in Cincinnati. He was alongside teammates Josh Hader and Jeremy Jeffers, reenacting the iconic scene from the movie Dumb and Dumber. They even got a shout out from comedian Jim Carrey, one of Suter's favorites. We'll have that full interview tomorrow on the Reds pregame show. And Brent can do more than just reenacting Lloyd.
Here's one of my go-tos. Your request is not unlike your large intestine, stinky and loaded with danger.
It was my pleasure to interview Brent Suter earlier today as Peraza robbed by Arcia. You're going to see that full interview tomorrow on Reds Live, 3:30 for Reds Live tomorrow. And what a treat Brent Suter is. Moeller product. And as Shannon talked about, Jim Carrey's this guy. He says he's been doing impressions about every day as long as he can remember, and that's no joke. Jim Carrey, the Jim Carrey, tweeted him after that. The Brewers put that online, and that video kind of went viral. And he said it was about the thrill of his life to get Jim Carrey to message him. And he'll have the impressions tomorrow in the interview. You won't want to miss it. And he is spot on that imitation, too. Reds have one hit off of Chase Anderson, and it came back in the fourth. balls, 2 strikes to Michael Lorenzen. Lorenzen stays alive. Count holds at 2-2. Drive. Left field. Gone. Lorenzen's done it again. A missile home run to left. Second of the season. Is one of the best hitting pitchers you will see in the game.
Now, Michael Lorenzen is one of the better athletes you'll see in this ball game. He runs like a deer. He's got a bullet arm, and you can hit. And I'm wondering if the Reds are ever going to take the step forward to let him work on his hitting more and use him more in this capacity. Of course, he's in the ball game right now as a pitcher, and he turns around a 94-mile-an-hour heater.
Well, Jim Riggleman has talked openly about it. They are open to that in the future. And Lorenzen is always taking fly balls in the outfield. Appeal. I guess they're appealing. I'm not sure they did it. Nope. I'm wondering if Lorenzen stepped on.
They've already done it once.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't appeal more than once.
Dreckman says, let's play on. And now the proper appeal.
Well, I guess what they had to do, in order to do an appeal, you have to put the ball in play first. So Anderson evidently did not wait until Billy Hamilton got in the batter's box ready and then called time to make the appeal.
Here's Lorenzen coming home. Ooh, just barely, but look at Dreckman. He was right there, right on the plate, looking down. Michael, a little celebration. A little close right there. Back to Lorenzen. Riggleman has been open, saying, yeah, we thought about using him in the field. And when on days when they know he's not available in the bullpen, as Hamilton flares one the other way, 2 outs, he will be in the dugout with the position players. And much like the guys that are on the bench will go underneath and will hit in the cage underneath during the game to stay warm, he joins them each and every game. And you want to talk about lobbying to hit, to play, and to play the field. It is often that Michael Lorenzen is wearing the coaching staff out and the manager Riggleman.
Well, there aren't too many players that have the resume that Michael Lorenzen does as a position player. I mean, all the way in a top-notch Division I college baseball schooling. Cal State Fullerton. He was a center fielder there, and then he would come in to close games right out of center field. And they had to make he had to make a decision when he signed a professional contract with the Reds. I think they let him for a very short period of time do both, and then they finally convinced him that the quickest way to the major leagues with your arm is as a pitcher. But now that he's here, why waste that asset?
Coming into the game is a .246 batter career, 4 years. Now 4 home runs and 10 RBIs in his career. And check out this stat from him. Mr. Joe Luckham. First Red to have multiple home runs while in the game as a relief pitcher since our guy Danny Graves back in 2000 and 2001. And his other home run in relief was on August 19th of 2016. Schebler draws a 2-out walk, so the tying run is at first base. First walk of the night given up by Chase Anderson. Well, this is pretty much a theme in today's game. Third time through the order. 6th inning. It's really the go inning if you're the offensive club against a starting pitcher.
Now Derek Johnson's their pitching coach. We talked about him a little bit last night. He spent 11 years at Vanderbilt where he was a pitching coach and one of the assistant coaches. He coached a lot of pretty good pitchers coming through there, guys like David Price and Sonny Gray. He also wrote a book on pitching, Derek Johnson did, called The Complete Guide to Pitching. Then he moved on to the Chicago Cubs where he ran their minor league system in pitching, and when the job became available here with Milwaukee, you know, I think the coaching and the college experience is one that actually gave him a step up. They were looking for somebody who would embrace the analytics and be able to teach some mechanics. And there aren't a lot of professional pitching coaches that fall into that and have both those qualities.
First pitch to Tucker Barnhart is tapped foul. Yeah, if you can combine a guy that can help a pitcher's mechanics and embraces analytics in the new age of general managers and president of baseball operations, you're going to find a job somewhere nowadays. And we talked about this last night. The Brewers 3rd in the National League in team ERA at 3.46. Previous to this inning, Barnhart had the only other hit off of Chase Anderson. One ball, 2 strikes.
Well, a 2-out walk doesn't seem like a big rally, but it's really the best thing the Reds have been able to get going here on Chase Anderson this evening. Trying to keep the inning alive for Joey Votto. Here comes the changeup.
Ground ball. Playing right there in short right field is the second baseman Miller. Michael Lorenzen gets the Reds on the board. It's a 1-run game at Great American Ballpark. games played, 81 games in, and the Reds got out to that awful start, 3-18, worst in Major League Baseball, runs per game, and pitchers not currently on the roster had a 3-16 record and a big 7.60 ERA. But Reds have turned it around since April 23rd, 2 games above 500. Third best in runs per game in Major League Baseball, tops in the National League in that category. 12-4 in their last 16 games. And you look at the ERA, it is much, much lower.
So the trend has been turned around, and of course Riggleman at the helm to help do that. The challenge now is to continue that.
Yeah.
I think he's already gained respect. I mean, not just Jim Riggleman, but I think the ball club has gained respect around all the teams that they play against, because everybody that comes into town, Jim, and I'm sure you hear it too.
Oh yeah, talk about the lineup number 1.
Yes, and they say, hey, you guys are no pushovers anymore. I mean, you sweep the Dodgers, you sweep the Cubs, 2 teams that were in the playoffs last year. Unfortunately, you just can't erase what happened there in the first 6 weeks of the season.
And when you're scoring a lot of runs per game, and let's take that Cubs series, for instance. Last time they were home, 4-game sweep. They came back in 3 of those games. And that's exciting baseball. This team can be fun to watch when they get good starting pitching. I mean, what team isn't fun to watch when you get good starting pitching? But it's a fun lineup. And that guy is a game manager through and through. You ask him about hitting mechanics, he's honest. Hey man, go ask the hitting coach. I'm not an expert in that. Asking him about pitching mechanics. Go ask the pitching guys. I'm not an expert on that. I am a game manager. I am a people manager. And he has managed a ton of baseball games at many levels in his career. Hasn't always had the horses on the teams he's managed. Hasn't always had the great situations. Been interim skipper a few times, which he is right now. But he's usually on top of his game as far as moves in a game. And he'll be the first to tell you, you can ask him about situations in the game like we had in Atlanta, for instance, when he bunted Scooter Gennett and they walked Suarez. He'll second guess himself. But what manager in Major League Baseball isn't second guessed? That move works out, they say, oh wow, what a selfless player Gennett is.
I think there's a certain segment of that analytics crowd that no matter whether it worked out or not, are never going to buy into the sacrifice bunt again.
They're throwing their remote at the screen right now. The bunt is indeed a 4-letter word to them.
Ooh, flirting with disaster right there by hanging a little breaking ball up around Aguilar's letters. I would say after a couple of slow ones like that, he's got him set up for a 96-mile-an-hour heater, and you know that Lorenzen's got that going with the slider again, and Barnhart wants it in the dirt.
Count holds at 1-2. Barnhart asking for it, down again, and to left field, foul. Eighth pitch of the at-bat. Suarez up and firing, big league play.
Well, Eugenio Suarez is probably figuring I may get something hit down to me, and it's probably going to be hard here in this at bat with Aguilar. Because he hit a foul ball down the line, ripped it on the ground. Then he hit a foul ball home run down the line, and this one he keeps fair, and there's Suarez to make a really nice play.
Good recognition there, too. He knew who was running. And taking his time and setting himself. Not rushing himself.
You know, infielders, there's a drill that they do where you count to yourself when you're taking ground balls, and you get to have that internal timer going, so you know exactly how long you have based on the runner. And you know, all really good infielders have that, you know, that little timer going off.
Two balls and a strike to Travis Shaw. And this one will require new lumber. Two and two. Check that, make that 3-1. Our apologies. Popped it up, back and out of play. Or will it drift back? It will not.
Always fun to look up the numbers of these guys that play some college baseball. And of course, Travis Shaw played at Kent State University in the MAC. And when he was a freshman at age 19, he hit .331 and then .330 and .307. And that's when he was drafted by the Boston Red Sox.
Draws his third walk of the night here. 3 walks given up by Romano and Lorenzen combined, and they've all been to Travis Shaw. A Great American Ballpark, your family day destination this Sunday. Thanks to Klosterman Bakery, you can get half-price Reds tickets. A lot of things going on for the kids, including everyone 14 and younger will get an Adam Duvall Fathead thanks to Smythe Automotive. For tickets, visit Reds.com. Hernan Perez hitting for Braun here. So last night Yelich left the game. Now we will wonder what's going on with Ryan Braun. Check swing and couldn't hold up. One hopper to Peraza. Will go the short way. Lorenzen strands one. A winnable game for the Reds.
broadcast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
2-1 Brewers. And don't look now, but Josh Hader is on the mound. And to say that he was filthy the last time the Reds saw him on this mound is a little bit of an understatement. 8 strikeouts. The first reliever in Major League Baseball history to strike out 8 in less than 3 innings. It was incredible to watch. The Left-Handed Pitching Association was very happy on that night. Heart of the order, though, he faces Votto, Jeanette, Suarez.
Yeah, the numbers that he's posting this year are just ridiculous as far as the strikeouts and the control that he has. 1.3 earned run average, 80 strikeouts in 40 innings. I mean, that's Aroldis Chapman reincarnated.
Yeah.
And the really amazing thing for me about Josh Hader is that he is on, at age 24, he is on his 3rd different organization. He was originally drafted 19th round by the Baltimore Orioles in 2012. A year later, they traded him to the Astros for Bud Norris. And then 2 years after that, in 2015, he was traded by the Astros to the Brewers. And the Mike Fiers and Carlos Gomez deal.
And you wonder yourself, how does that happen? That
Well, you know, they probably looked at him and said he had a great arm, but he probably can't control it.
He has certainly controlled it against the Reds this season. He's faced 16 batters. 1 hit, it was Tucker Barnhart. He did walk 1 batter in that outing we just showed you, and 11 strikeouts. And Votto draws a walk. His 62nd of the season to extend his lead in the National League. Thames goes from right field to left field. And in right field now is Hernan Perez, who came in for Ryan Braun, who left with lower back tightness. So the same injury that got Christian Yelich last night, he left the game with lower back tightness, and now Braun leaves this one. And Braun has dealt with back problems throughout the last few seasons. This is not a new issue for him. Scooter 1 for 6 in his matchups with Hader. And you're leading the lead in batting, leading the league in batting average. Sorry, first day with the new tongue. You'll have splits like that. But no everyday lefty here.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, if you're a left-handed hitter and you're hitting 360 off of left-handers, you're doing something right, mainly being able to hit the ball the other way, which is what you're going to have to do probably against Hader. Hader likes to throw that little sweeping, hard slider down and away. And it's his go-to pitch most of the time against lefties, although it looks like this time he's getting the fastball.
Arce threw it right by him.
You know, like 97 isn't enough. If you start factoring in all the other things that Hader does to distract the hitter. Big, tall guy, arms and legs going every which way, very violent delivery. Hides the ball well. he does Chapman better than Chapman.
Well said. So now he gets the righty Suarez. Tying run at first. Chase Anderson, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. Check swing appeal, yes, says Chad Fairchild. Oh, 0-2 the count. This time he holds up. Suarez stays alive on a 95-mile-per-hour heater. The 1-2. 2-2.
I guess the one thing the Brewers really are not sure of about Hader is how he will handle the usage of being a reliever all year long. Throughout the minor leagues, he's always been a starter. And he pitched 99 innings last year between his time as a reliever in the major leagues and 12 starts in the minor leagues. That's not a lot of innings, but you know, you start looking at the number of appearances that you had. He had 47 appearances. He's already up to now 27 appearances and 40 innings. So he's on pace to, you know, pitch an 80-inning regular season.
Suarez working a pretty good at bat here. The count's full. Ground ball. And Darth Hader does it again. There, and Keon Broxton, the 7 batter, has done the damage for the Brewers. RBI single in the 2nd. Solo home run in the 4th, both off of Sal Romano. The only run tonight is off the bat of Michael Lorenzen for the Reds. Bang! Solo home run in the 6th, line drive variety. That's all they could get off of Chase Anderson. And a 2-1 affair, 8th inning here at Great American Ballpark. Beautiful shot there. Friday night in the Queen City. Michael Lorenzen on for his 3rd inning of work. Two scoreless innings for Lorenzen. He walked Travis Shaw, the only base runner in those 2 innings. And first pitch breaking balls in for a strike. He'll get Pena, Broxton, Arcia here in the 8th. Check swing and not hitting. It's the 2nd time tonight that Reds have hit a batter in that manner. And that is exactly, we talked earlier in the season, Tucker Barnhart's gone to that hockey goalie style mask again, and that's one of the reasons why right there. If he wears the traditional mask there, that catches him on the side of the head, and it's a problem. He says there's a lot more situations like that. Foul balls, balls in the dirt, and a lot more overswings by batters where the bat comes around and hits the catcher on the side of the head. He wanted to put that out of his worries, and that mask style will do that. Small sample size for Broxton, recently recalled, but a .375 batter for the Brewers. Ball gets past Barnhart, and down to second base goes Pena.
Just a fastball that misses by a lot right there.
Yeah, normally seeing breaking balls in the dirt like that. When it's a fastball and you short hop it, not good. 3-1. And he walked him. So trouble brewing here in the 8th. First and second, nobody out. Left-hander Kyle Crockett is warming up in the Reds bullpen. You got the right-handed batting Arcia up now, first and second, and nobody out. Switch hitting Jonathan Villar is in the on-deck circle in the pitcher spot. And then it would be lefty Brad Miller. Bunt. Got to play at third, and they get it. Nice job.
Well, it certainly helps when you have an athletic pitcher out there on a bunt like this, because it's a forced play at third base. The catcher is running, and they move the shortstop in behind him over at second, maybe to shorten up his lead a little bit, or there was a pickoff play on that Lorenzen didn't get. Either way, the Reds got what they wanted eventually by that lead runner.
Maybe you could hear that. Tucker Barnhart was in control the whole way. You could hear him screaming 3-3-3-3.
I think that's part of it, but I think the other part of it, Jim, is that a pitcher has that same timer in his head.
Yeah, no question.
That an infielder does. And Lorenzen knows he's got the catcher running, how quickly he gets to the ball. And you can see he didn't rush his throw.
Right.
But it's always nice to have reinforcement. And you do what the catcher tells you.
You do, but you better have in mind before you field that ball where you're going. And like you said, Lorenzen's done it enough.
Yeah, if you wait to hear and then process what the catcher says, it's too late.
Yeah. There goes the runner. Throw down to third base. Not in time, and a double steal.
So basically the same effect as the sacrifice, except one pitch later. It's a good call by Craig Counsell. I mean, the things that he does to really push the game at the opposition. He's got a 1-run lead. You know, he doesn't have a whole lot to lose right here, but he can gain a lot by getting these runners in scoring position. They're checking on the status of their bullpen. And Jeremy Jeffress, I think, has been up and throwing. He ought to be pretty close to being ready.
Swing and a miss. Got a play. Got him hung up. In the rundown, Barnhart. Broxton got both of the runners held up. Now they got to go back to second base. Play at home. No one home to field the ball from second base. Oh, man. Not textbook there in handling the rundown. Awareness by Arcia to go back to second base.
Wow, this couldn't have been handled worse by the Reds right here. You got the runner hung up right here. This is where you want to close the gap. Chances are you're going to end up with a runner at third base, but you don't want to run to score right here. Arcia is off the bag, and now he runs towards second base. Barnhart realizes, wait a minute, the guy I wanted is off standing on third. And that's Billy Hamilton that came in to cover second base. And the play goes to him and then eventually back to home, not in time to get Broxton.
Oh, the Reds had a golden opportunity.
Boy, they were just made to look like a Little League team right there. And for a guy like Jim Riggleman, who stresses the fundamentals as much as he does, that must just eat him alive. Boy, oh boy.
That is a big run. Count is 1-2 to VR. Winker gloves out number 3, but the Reds give up a run. 3-1 Brewers. In Argentina at 9 a.m. Then Uruguay faces off with Ronaldo in Portugal. It's all tomorrow on Big Fox, or you can stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Messi and Ronaldo. Doesn't get any bigger than that in the world of soccer. New pitcher on for the Brewers, and he's a good one, Jeremy Jeffress.
Just about every time that bullpen gate opens, there's a good one coming out, and Jeffress now a veteran. He's been a closer. He's now a setup man here in this Milwaukee bullpen.
Inning in the third last night, struck out 3, scoreless baseball. Winker, Peraza, and Lorenzen's spot. Reds now down by 2. Chase Anderson, 6 innings, 1 earned run. Josh Hader, scoreless inning in the 7th. And now Jeffress. Drive hit well, but running it down is Broxton reaching up. If you're scoring at home, and we hope you are, to get the out at second base on Keon Broxton, it was 2.5828. Brewers got a run out of it on the defensive gaffe by the Reds. We'll see how big that run comes up if the Reds can do any damage at all here. Here's Peraza. And on the on-deck circle for the Reds is Adam Duvall. .97 mile per hour. Challenged him upstairs and won. Two and two. Base hit left field. So Peraza extends his hitting streak to a modest 4 games. And the tying run will come to the plate in the form of Adam Duvall. Who is due off of Jeffress. 0 for 8 in their career matchups. Stick around after the game. We'll put a capper on this one from the Fox Sports Ohio Condominium. It's Reds Live, the post-game edition. It's brought to you by Performance Kings Honda. So a showdown here in the 8th. Power hitting Duvall against the power pitcher Jeffress. And a first pitch strike.
Yeah, and just as you say that, Jeffress is going to drop that little split finger fastball on him, which is really his go-to pitch when he doesn't throw the fastball.
Jeffress in the driver's seat, no balls and 2 strikes.
He's always had a very good arm. Jeffress is a guy that was one of those early ultra hard throwers, 95 and above, when there were only a couple of guys on each team that threw that hard. But I think now he's also got a little attitude going for him. Some stage presence out there as he kind of looks down into the ground, snaps his head around when he's ready to pitch.
He does have that intense look about him. That body language will tell you he's pitching angry. That is all business right there. A 1-2. Oh, just missed, and Jeffress wants to know where.
That was a half a strike call by Bruce Dreckman.
Yeah.
Check this out again. Check out the umpire's arm right here.
Oh, no. Psych. Maybe not. Foul tip into the mid of Pena. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Billy Hamilton. Earlier in the game, started to tell you about a scoring change from last night's game. Billy Hamilton was credited with a stolen base in the 9th. They changed that to defensive indifference. For those of you that keep track of such things, he now has 15 steals on the season and not 16. Billy wanted clarification, thought it was low. Hamilton 0 for 2 here tonight. Had him way out in front. Dial it down to 81. And the bottom falls out.
Hard slider.
Mercy. Count holds an 0-2. Strike 3 call. Fastball at 97, a hit, man left. to the ninth in a 2-run game. Sports Ohio has been brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Toyota. For over 30 offers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Late afternoon affair tomorrow. And as always, we'll warm you up with Reds Live, the pregame edition. Brent Suter, the full interview, and some Jim Carrey impressions, including Dumb and Dumber. Tomorrow, 3:30, again for Reds Live. It's brought to you by Ray St. Clair Roofing. And Tyler Malley will get the ball. And he will face righty Jolice Chassin. 4:10 first pitch here at the yard. Ninth inning, new pitcher is lefty Kyle Crockett. Scooter on the backhand.
Boy. Nice pick by Jeanette. Anytime somebody does this, reminds me of what Pete Rose used to say in the dugout when he was managing. You would see that play and would say, Wilson Pickett. Now some people out there, they're like, who? Wilson who?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Eric Thames 1 for 3 here tonight. Crockett trying to keep it at a 3-1 game. Fifth game now. He's yet to yield an earned run. He was immediately put into high leverage situations when he came up AAA. I think the first situation he faced was in the Cubs series here. Brought him in to face left-hander Kyle Schwarber. Got the job done. It was a first and second situation, 2 outs. And they struck out Schwarber looking.
Well, Crockett is no newbie. I mean, he's been around a while. This is his 112th Major League game. All the previous games to this year, of course, were with the Cleveland Indians. Had some really good seasons. Had a year in 2016. He's in 29 games with a 2.3 earned run, or a A pretty good earned run average. Not 2.3, but he pitched pretty. He's the kind of reliever that's not going to add up a lot of innings, so you really can't judge him by ERAs. I was actually looking at FIP, which is a fielding independent pitching earned run average, which is a little more indicative of what relievers can do.
The FIP.
The FIP.
Who's going to take charge here? It's Barnhart. Ooh. Tricky there at the end. 2 outs. I want you to go to a couple booths down and bring up FIP. Probably not.
A couple of booths down would be the radio booth, right?
It would.
That probably would be mistaken. FIP would be mistaken for perhaps a new flavor ice cream.
That's true. That's very good. Still work to be done. Big Jesus Aguilar.
Or it could also stand for final installment payment.
Well, a lot of people can relate to that out there. Nothing like making the final install payment, no matter what it is. Crockett not overpowering stuff, but when I talked to him, he said, you know what, I got to be aggressive. I just got to go right at guys.
You know, he has the ability to make an 87 to 90 mile per hour fastball look like it's about 95. If you watch his front side and how he flashes his glove up, he really hides the ball well. I think that makes the hitter have a tough time picking the pitches up. Tough challenge right here, lefty versus Aguilar. But here he is throwing 89, basically thigh high, and he's late on it. So there's something to the formula of being deceptive. These guys were teammates.
Yeah. Man, he hits the ball hard. 2-out base hit, Aguilar. And that'll bring to the plate Travis Shaw. The left-handed batter, and Jim Riggleman will stick with Crockett. That is the first hit allowed by Kyle Crockett in 2018. Smaller sample size. Nonetheless, he's pitched well for the Reds so far. Trying to complete a full inning here against a guy that's 3 for 5 career against him. Trying not to be just a loogie. Trying to get them all out. We got the left-hander Miller out. Lefty Thames, the only righty in the inning. Aguilar, base hit. Two balls and a strike to Travis Shaw. Up the middle and right through the hole. Aguilar will stop at second. Back-to-back 2-out hits for the Brewers. And now with the right-hander Hernan Perez due up, here comes Jim Riggleman. Jackson Stevens, righty, has been cranking it up in the Reds bullpen. It's our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. Baseball, former Red Shin Soo Choo has reached base safely in 41 straight games. That is the longest streak this season. J.D. Martinez, he's endearing himself to Boston fans, set a Red Sox record with 25 home runs before July 1st. And the Astros, man, I tell you what, they're in line to, there's a good chance you could see them repeat. Tied the franchise record with 11 straight road wins before losing tonight at Tampa Bay. And they are loaded for bear again. The new pitcher is Jackson Stevens. It's first and second and 2 outs. Hernan Perez at the plate.
This is not the normal type of situation that Stevens has been brought into. He's more or less a long man out in the bullpen. Sometimes that means mop-up work. That sometimes means you're in the ball game very late in an extra inning game.
Base hit, left center field. This is going to score Aguilar. This is going to score 2, perhaps. Relay throw to the plate. In time, nope. Tucker Barnhart dropped the ball. Insurance runs and big ones for the Brewers. It's 5-1.
Perez gets a breaking ball that just kind of rolls up there. We like Stevens' curveball, but that thing really didn't do a whole lot. And he went down to get it and laced it into the gap. Looks like the relay is going to be good, and you're going to have a chance to get the second runner at the plate. The ball just kind of squirts out of Barnhart's hands, and 2 runs in after the double.
2 RBI double. He gets the 3rd on the throw to the plate.
Well, this has been one of those games where the Reds have been teetering right on the edge of hanging in there.
Yep.
Sal Romano, every time he turned around, he had runners on base, but he kind of got out of there without a really major damage. Was made into a one-run game by Michael Lorenzen's solo home run.
Kyle Crockett is saying if I just could have gotten Aguilar or Shaw, Retired the first 2 in the inning. And both of those runs will be credited to him. They're going to change the scoring decision from a 2 RBI double to an RBI double and an E2, allowing the second run to score.
I think they're doing that because it looked like the Bruce Dreckman, the home plate umpire, originally pumped an out call and then changed it to safe. But I would suggest that that's a bad scoring decision because it was such a bang-bang play at the plate. I think Dreckman may have been a little bit quick on the draw right there to call it. Let's take a look. Watch the umpire out and then safe. He never really had the ball, in my estimation. Now that's a very tough scoring call.
Really is.
Man.
Really is.
Barnhart's had a tough enough night.
Another base hit and another run. 3-run inning for the Brewers. Fourth straight hit in the inning. And Keon Broxton's had himself a night. Home run back in the 4th. Brewers have hit a home run in each of their last 17 games here at Great American Ballpark. 17 games. This ball hit well. Schebler runs out of room, off the top of the wall and over the wall. Second home run of the night for Keon Broxton, and this one is ugly. Third career multi-home run game for Keon Broxton. Sometimes you got to get a good bounce, and that would be one of them. A 5-run ninth for the Brewers. That series, you can buy this $12 ticket package. You're going to get a free voucher for a free regular hot dog and 16-ounce fountain drink, plus fireworks after each game on July 3rd and 4th. Purchase the Great American Deal today at Reds.com/deal. Remember, this great deal is only available through this ticket package, and those on the 3rd and 4th are 2 night games. A lot of times you see day games on July 4th, but a night game this time around. New pitcher, and he inherits a 7-run lead. It's Dan Jennings, the lefty.
Yeah, we didn't see Jennings last night in a situation where it looked like the Brewers are going to be able to need a lefty. He was evidently ill, not able to make the game last night, but he's having a pretty good year. Nice balance to the bullpen the Brewers have.
Eric Sogard into the game. He's at second base. Top of the order here, Schebler, Barnhart, Votto. Reds need a bunch. The Brew Crew has done it in a number of fashions here tonight. Driving in runs. Extra base hits, singles, a couple of home runs by Broxton, and these two teams have been homer happy in their matchups. Just foul, says Roberto Ortiz. Homer happy over the last 2 seasons, the season series between the Brewers and Reds. They have hit 89 home runs between them. And that is the most combined by opponents in all the matchups in baseball. Astros and Rangers, 88 the last 2 seasons. Schebler delivers a line drive base hit. '89 of them. So unless the Reds can come up with a miracle rally here, they will have to win tomorrow and Sunday for a 4-game split. Tyler Mahle versus Chacin tomorrow. Again, 3:30 for Reds Live, and then a 1:10 first pitch on Sunday. Matt Harvey will get the outstanding youngster Freddie Peralta, who has been brilliant in his young major league career. Counsel out of the dugout, and was wondering if that was a called strike. They've got 2 balls and no strikes on the board here. Two and one. Two balls and 2 strikes. $26,130 in the park tonight. And they'll get some firework coming up here. The best in the biz. This is Margaritaville night, so that soundtrack is going to be Jimmy Buffett. 1 out. We have a lucky fan sitting in with Jeff Pecoro on the postgame show tonight. I was worried about my boy last night because we had coats and ties on, and my boy was a little hot pick.
He can beat up, can he?
Well, he had to rush from the field to the set very quickly. Votto shoots one the other way. His first hit of the night. And when you got to rush up there and it's hot and you're in a concrete jungle, basically, not a lot of air down there. The lights are hot. I was worried about my boy. We got through it, though. You know, talking for a living is tough. It's tough going. I say that very sarcastically, of course. Two on, one out. Scooter Gennett at the plate. Right center field. Will it fall? It won't. What a catch by Broxton. He can't even believe it.
Little snow cone on this ball right at the end of the glove. It looked like that ball was just popping right out. He ends up holding on to it. That's a dandy play in an outfield area that has seen a number of those.
Yeah, that's Billy Hamilton territory. Broxton says, take that. And the Reds are going to ask for this one to be reviewed. Nothing to lose here in the ninth. Snow cone, as you said, Chris, ball hanging out. They're having a good old laugh out there.
You know, it looks like, and they're being shown it on the big screens here, both of the scoreboards, that ball may have jarred loose. He had it, and then it jarred loose, and then went back into his webbing. Now, this will be a tough one to rule on. In. I think he had it the whole
I don't
way.
think it moves. Yeah,
We're going to find out right now.
out, says crew chief Alonzo Marquez. Those outfield gloves are big and the webbing is long and they're loose. But it looked like he held that thing clear through. Sound like we're calling the NFL there. Did he hold it completely through the catch? Reds down to their final out. One ball and a strike. Reds down to their final strike. 1-2 pitch. Check swing. Appeal, no. Two. Suarez leg. Ouch. Or was it his foot? Got a little bit of dirt to help it out. We'll do the 2-2 again. Full count. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Base hit center field. This will score Shebler. It's 8-2. RBI number 60 on the season for Suarez. So in game number 82, Suarez has 60 runs driven in. And keep in mind that he missed 16 games in April with that fractured right thumb. Here's Winker. That ball was blistered over the Brewers dugout, and again, thank goodness for the nets they put up this year. One and one. This should do it. Brewers take their second straight over the Reds. Final score 8-2 from Great American Ballpark. They are guaranteed of at least a 4-game split. Stay with us, much more to come here on the home of the Reds, Fox Sports Ohio. Reds Live, the post-game show is right around the corner.